Stage 14 of La Vuelta. Always going to be one for the breakaway? Well, such was the belief on this, the longest stage of this year's race, that everyone was on the rollers before the start. Cordons were cut, everyone was ready, it was time to go racing. 201 kilometres laying ahead of the field, a looping late circuit including the categorised climbs on the day, but climbing out of the back door meant that this was going to be a feisty start, and so it proved. 6 brave souls got themselves up the road finally, and it was an incredibly strong breakaway. Victor Campenaerts was there yet again for Lotto Destiny. Del Toro, of course, from UE Team Emirates. Narvaez, the Ecuadorian champion for Ineos Grenadiers. Frigo was there for Israel Premier Tech, along with Sandro Maurice and Harold Tejeda from Alpecin and Astana. But when the climbs finally started to dawn upon us, it was a modest gap that the breakaway held. It never really got beyond 2.5 minutes. Such was the chase being invoked by Visma Lease bike. Sandro Maurice just rolled off the front of indeed our escapees, just to make sure that, well, if nobody else wanted those mountain points, he was going to take them for himself. Well, the kilometres slowly but surely wound away, and the big climb of the day started to loom large in everybody's minds. Essentially 20 kilometres of climbing at an almost constant gradient of around about 4%. It did have a big impact on the breakaway, however, and that soon was about to shred itself. So lots of mountain points with a Category 1 test up ahead, then a downhill run into town and a finish that everyone had already seen. There was a lot of motivation for Visma Lease bike to win this, in the hands, of course, of Wout van Aert. Would the man in the green jersey, who also leads the polka dots, finish off the break? Well, would he finish off the job? That was the question. Campenaerts offering up some comfort to Sandro Maurice and indeed Isaac Del Toro. They were the first to exit from the break. It split in half before Harold Tejeda called it a day for Astana. Frigo and indeed Narvaez were the last men standing up front, and really the combativity award was bound to go to one of them. But the seconds were starting to count down. It swelled again once Narvaez and Frigo had gone up, but when Frigo had had enough, Narvaez was indeed the last man to be caught, and a combativity award duly went his way. Behind, well, they were jockeying for position. A steady tempo had been set throughout the day by Visma Lease bike. Would others come and help out, man the pumps? Well, there was a lot of fast men had actually managed to make the trip. Such was indeed the pace that had been set by Visma Lease bike. It hadn't really shaken out too many from behind. And so there were options up for grabs on the run for home. While Van Aert was mustering for more than just the stage win, he was looking for mountain points as well. Leading the polka dot jersey competition, he decided, well, if nobody else wants it, I'll pick it up myself. A rack of points, doing what Maurice did from the break. Van Aert now doubled his lead in the King of the Mountains competition. And what about the overall lead? Primož Roglič, suffering a puncture in the last 14 kilometres, had a bike swap. Indeed, Danny Martinez, a smaller man than he by around 6 centimetres, provided him with a very compact bike, almost ideal for the descent. Roglič got back in, but a lot of fast men were still very much embedded within the main body of the peloton. And so there was an easement of pace before it all picked up in the slightly technical approach to our finale. A big left-hander with 500 metres to go, and the luxury of a lead-out train for Caden Groves. The man in the green jersey was absolutely stalking him, however. Would he possibly get the jump on the Australian yet again? Well, having a look down on the inside the hoardings, that's where Groves wanted to be, and it forced Van Aert round the other side. And so would this end up being the usual 2-horse race for the sprint? Well, it pretty much seemed like that. Corbin Strong thought he'd get involved. Vacek was also in the frame, but in the end Groves burst first with 150 metres to go. It was going to be on the throw. Oh, Van Aert just edging ahead of Groves at this point, then Groves battling back and delivering. Or maybe the difficulties of the last few days for Wout van Aert, where he has absolutely thrived, possibly had a toll in the very end. It's all about percentages, this game, and sometimes when you have it, just that edge is enough. 3/4 of a wheel separating the pair of them. Groves getting his second win of this Vuelta after, of course, winning stage 2 with Wout van Aert in his wheel back then. It was a heck of a rock and roll battle between them in an unexpected sprint stage. We were all waiting for stage 17 for the fast men to have some fun. Well, they had it today, discovering a sprint amongst the mire of the mountains. Confirmation of the result. Groves clearly in a very, very happy place, taking ahead of Van Aert, Strong, Vacek and Paul Miguel. Well, Groves absolutely delighted, as indeed I can tell you Robin McEwen certainly was, big supporter of the man. And that broad grin tells a huge story. King of the Mountain standings, well, Wout van Aert has increased his lead. He now holds double the margin in the polka dot jersey competition. Something he's happy to pick up for now, but with some very high ground still to come. Will indeed Wout van Aert still be holding polka dots at the end of this race, likely of course to hold green. And the man in the lead remains Ben O'Connor. Will he be there tomorrow by the day's end with Roglic, Mas, Carapaz, Landa and many others on his case? Well, you're going to have to join us tomorrow to find out, as the big run to Ciutat Negro looms large in our minds. 2 Category 1 tests up Colla d'Ella before Ciutat Negro, the Or category or Especial climb, to finish the day off. It's going to be amazing. It always is in this great race.